Hi, this is Pilates at Home with Bori. Today's video is a shorter version of my last live online class from Wednesday evening. If you are interested to join these classes, you can find a link to join in my Facebook group, to which you find a link in the description of this video, so feel free to join if you would like. Today we are focusing mainly on the glutes and the core. We want to strengthen them and stretch them out, and we also pay attention to mobilize our spine, move it out into any possible direction to compensate for all the sitting that we are doing nowadays in our lives. As always, I'm offering variations, modifications, and I ask you to please listen to your body and choose the option that is fitting you the best in your current condition on this exact day when you are doing this video. It may change from day to day as well. So yes, listen to your body. And one more little thing is that there is a construction today that I'm shooting this video. They are renovating the outside walls of my building, so there might be some noises coming in, and I'm trying to get rid of those, but as I'm not a professional videographer, it might not be perfect, so just wanted to give you a heads up about that. But let's get started. We are starting at the back of our mat, sitting on our heels. We're going to stay like this for some part of the warm-up, so if it's getting too much for you at any time, for your knees or for your feet, then you can maybe try to place a pillow between your heels and your glutes, or you can just change into a cross-legged seated position, whatever is more comfortable for you. Important thing is that you want to have a straight back. You want to imagine there is one string pulling you up from the top of your head, and especially in this position we tend to arch our lower back, which we don't want to do right now. So try to very consciously pull your navel in towards your spine and lengthen that area, that lower back area, especially with the exhales. Always think of pulling your navel to your spine, emptying out all your lungs, activating your core, and lengthen the back of your lower back. You want to have your shoulders wide and relaxed. You can do a small shoulder circle. You want to imagine pulling your shoulder blades down towards your back pocket, and your hands first of all just on your legs, and just take a moment to arrive to this class, to arrive to your mat. Observe how you feel. Observe if there is any kind of tension in your body somewhere, and just what kind of sensations do you have in your body right now. Just focus on your breathing for a moment. Try to open your ribcage. Imagine opening the sides of your ribcage with every inhale, guiding the breath into the sides of your ribcage, and with the exhale, pulling your navel to your spine, activating the core, squeezing out all the air from your lungs. Just try to focus on that for a few rounds of breath. Inhale, expanding the ribs, and exhale, navel to your spine, squeezing all the air out. And then you can interlace your hands behind you and start pushing your hands towards the wall behind you, opening your chest, opening your shoulders, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and you can even look up, relaxing your hands towards the back. Inhale, and exhale, start folding forward over your thighs. Forehead comes towards the mat. It's okay if it doesn't touch. And your hands come up towards the ceiling, pushing your hands towards the ceiling, stretching out the shoulders. If you can even try to pull it a bit further towards the front of your mat. And with the inhale, lift yourself back up. Open your chest, shoulder blades together, hands pushing towards the wall. And exhale, lower into child's pose. 2 more times with your own speed, connecting to your own breath. On the inhale, open your chest, arching the upper back, and exhale, rounding the back, child's pose, hands up towards the ceiling. And one last time. Inhale up, hands towards the wall, opening the chest, looking up, and exhale down to child's pose. And then roll yourself back up into a seated position. Release your hands and now interlace them in front of you. We are going to warm up the wrists. Very important because we are going to use them a lot today. So just start making rolls, circles, rolling your wrists in a circle. You might make some cracking sound like mine. Just really warming them up. If you are working a lot with the computer, then you probably are having your hands and wrists in the same position big part of the day, so it's really good for them to mobilize them, to move them out. And then slowly stop and try circling the other direction. That second direction might be a bit weird for first. If you are not used to it, don't worry. That's normal to have one dominant side in most things like this also, so don't get frustrated if you don't manage at first, just try. And then you can slowly stop and then start drawing waves with your hands, your arms, also involving the elbows, the wrists, the hands, stretching out the hands. And notice how your one hand is leading. For me, this is the right hand. It's always going down and then it's going up and down, and it's bringing the second hand after itself. For you, it might be the same, or maybe you are leading with your left hand. That's very normal to have also a dominant side in this, but we will try now to go the other direction. So just stop in one moment and start consciously leading with the other hand. For me, the other hand is the left, so now I'm trying to go up with the left and go down with the left and up again and down again and again. This is not so easy as it looks like, so really don't get frustrated. If you don't manage at first, it just takes some time to try and to get used to it. Just really moving out the wrists. Point is to warm the wrists up. And then slowly stop and push your palms towards the front, stretching out the wrist, the bottom part of your forearm. And then with the inhale, look up, chin comes up. And then with the exhale, chin comes down, and you can also press into this area between your shoulder blades, slightly rounding your back. Inhale up, stretching out the front side of the neck. Exhale down, rounding slightly. 2 more times. Inhale up and exhale down. One last time. Inhale up and exhale down, rounding, and then come back to a neutral position. And with the next inhale, lift your arms up, palms towards the ceiling, shoulders stay down. Inhale and exhale, bending towards the right. Inhale back in the center. Exhale, bending slightly towards the left, stretching out the sides. One more time. Inhale in the center. Exhale towards the right side, stretching out the left side. Inhale in the center and exhale, stretching out the right side by bending towards the left. Inhale back in the center, release your arms, and with the exhale, drawing a big half circle towards the back, through the sides, the arms come down. Just shake them out for a moment if you need to. And when you are ready, come forward into an all-fours position. You want to have your wrists directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips. You want to have your back straight, one straight line, Imagine that it's the string pulling you from the top of your head again forward and from the tailbone towards the back, and you want to keep your core really active the whole time, navel to your spine, don't let your belly hang. And first of all, just starting to warm up the spine, start drawing circles with your upper body above your mat, like you would be drawing a circle on your mat. You can involve the elbows, the shoulders, the hips. This time just don't worry about how it looks, just make it in a way that it feels good for you, really warming up the body, the upper body, the hips. Just drawing circles and keep breathing in the meantime. Really warming up, moving out your body after a long day, if you're doing this in the evening. And then slowly stop and start circling the other direction. Again, just make it in a way that it feels good for you, don't worry how it looks. Keep breathing. Involving the elbows, the shoulders, the hips. Couple rounds, and then slowly find back into the center. Find your straight back, core active, navel to your spine, and with the next exhale, pulling your navel to your spine, tilting your pelvis, pointing the tailbone down towards the ground, one vertebra after the other, rounding the spine. Chin comes towards the chest, cat back. And on the inhale again, starting with tilting the pelvis, starting to vertebra by vertebra, arching your spine. Open the chest, look forward. Shoulder blades slightly together, and 3 more times on the exhale. Always starting with tilting the pelvis and then vertebra by vertebra, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. And already can go tilt your pelvis the other direction, arching your spine, make it in a fluid, continuous motion like a wave. Instead of just coming quickly to the ending position, try to make this journey from rounding to arching as nice and long as possible. One last time arching. And then finding back into a straight back, check your position. Fingers are wide open, stable. Navel to your spine, and then stretching your right leg first. Only the toes touching the ground. Inhale, lift your leg up. Exhale, touch the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, touch the ground. And you don't need to go very high with your leg, just kind of the same level as your body. Keep going with the inhale, lift. With the exhale, lower, core is active, navel to your spine. And important is to try keeping your pelvis stable and in the center. Then to press the hips out to the opposite side to balance. But we try to avoid that and keep it in the center and do the balancing with muscle work instead. Core is active, navel to your spine, back is straight, spine is long. Few more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, and now stay here, and with the next exhale, crossing your right leg and touching the left side of your mat. Inhale, lifting it back in the center, and exhale, bringing it to the right side, touching the right side of your mat. You don't have to go very far, really just the sides of the mat, keeping your pelvis in the center the whole time. Only go as far as you can without moving your pelvis out of the center, strengthening all different sides of the glutes like this. And if anytime your wrists are getting too tired or you have very sensitive wrists, you can come down on your elbow and continue on your elbow, pulling your navel to your spine, and may stay like this now because I use my wrists a lot actually during the day. Inhale, lift. Exhale, touch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cross and touch the left side of the mat. Center. And right, and try not to use the momentum to make the movement, but try to go slowly and precisely, controlled, using your glutes, your muscle power, using your core to keep your pelvis in the center, to keep the position. Elbows directly under the shoulder or the wrists. You stay on your wrists. Few more times. Exhale, sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, sides. Inhale, center. 2 more times. Touch the sides. Stay in the center with your pelvis. 1 last time. Cross. Lift. To the side. Back lifting up, and now flex your right toes. Pull them towards your knee. And start pulsing small pulses, working your glutes. Keep breathing, core active, navel to your spine. Like kicking up with your heels, just small movements. And then stop, point your foot and place it back down on the ground. Sit back into child's pose for a moment, take a rest before the other side. And when you are ready, come back up into an all-fours position, find your position. Then we are going to do the left leg. I'm going back down on the elbows now. You can do the same. Stretching your left leg towards the back. With the inhale, lift. And with the exhale, touch the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, touch the ground. Inhale, lift. Core active, navel to your spine, back straight and long. Either way, if you are on your elbows or if you are on your wrists. Working the glute, again not with the momentum. The slower you make, the harder it gets actually with these kind of exercises. But just make it in a way that it feels good for you, make it in the speed that it feels good for you. Connecting always with your breaths, with the inhale up and with the exhale down, and again don't need to lift it too high. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, and now crossing the leg, touching the right side of your mat. Inhale back in the center and exhale, touching the left side of your mat. Again, no need to go very far. Make sure to keep your pelvis in the center, keep your core active. You can probably feel that your glutes on your other side are also working by keeping your pelvis in the center, keeping this position. Make sure to not push your hips out towards the right. Training all different sides of the glutes with this exercise. Core active, navel to your spine. Few more times. Exhale, touch the ground. Inhale up. Exhale, touch. Inhale up, cross, and to the side. 2 more times. Cross, and the left leg is actively reaching towards the back the whole time. Imagining that you are touching the ground a bit further back every single time you touch it down. Last time, cross, up, to the side, and back up. And now flex your toes and start pulsing, kicking your heel slightly up, small movements. Core active, navel to your spine. Keep breathing, almost done here. just for a bit longer. And then stop, point your toes and bring your knee back down on the ground and sit back into a child's pose. Give a rest to your shoulders, your wrists, your lower back, rounding the back, enjoying this small stretch in your lower back. Expanding your back, every inhale, and releasing with every exhale. And then when you are ready, come back up into an all-fours position. Find your position. This time we are staying on our wrists. What's going to happen is stretching the right leg towards the back. Inhale, actively reaching back with your leg. Bringing your knee towards your chest. You can even try touching your nose or your forehead. But don't worry if you don't manage, just bring them as close as possible and then bringing your knee through the side, touching your shoulder or your arm or your elbow. Or if you don't manage, also just try to bring it as near as possible. Again, chest. Inhale, stretch. Exhale to the side. Try to keep the same height. Stretch. Exhale to the chest like this. Your back will round a bit, but that's good, that's okay. When you are bringing your knee to the side, you try to keep your back straight as much as possible and you always come back to the straight back on the inhale. Exhale, rounding, knee to chest. Inhale, stretch. Exhale to the side. And really don't worry if you don't manage to bring your knee towards your shoulder or towards your nose. That depends much on the flexibility of your hips also, so that doesn't mean that you are not strong enough, just try your best. Working the core also, when you are bringing your knee towards your shoulder, you notice you are working with the sides of your abs, your obliques as well. And again, keeping the pelvis in the center, especially when you are bringing your knee to the side. Pay attention to not fall towards the left with your hips. A few more times. Core is active, navel to your spine. Chest. Working the core and the glutes. At the same time in this exercise. 2 more rounds. Exhale to the chest. Inhale, stretch straight back. Exhale, bringing your knee to your shoulder, stretch. One last time, exhale into chest. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, shoulder. Inhale, stretch, and then stay here. And on the next exhale, start bending your elbows, bringing your chest slightly forward and down, elbows next to your body. Push up, inhale, back up 3 more times. No need to go very deep, just go as far as you can. Working the shoulders, the triceps a bit, also back side of your arm. One last time. Exhale down. Inhale up. And now try stretching your left arm forward. Find your balance, core really active, navel to your spine. Pelvis in the center, reaching forward with the arm and back with the leg. Or then if you want, you can add small pulse with your arm and leg. But if that's too much and you are falling out of the balance, then just hold it still. Breathe and reach. Navel to your spine. One last inhale. And then release your hand and knee back down. And sit back into child's pose. And then you can roll up into a seated position on your heels. You can shake out your wrists, move out your shoulders, your neck, and then we can go on the other side as well. Finding your position, stretching your left leg this time. Inhale and exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, knee to shoulder. Inhale, stretch. And again, don't worry if you don't manage to bring your knee towards your nose or to your shoulder on the side. Just do your best, go as far as you can. Important is to keep your pelvis in the center the whole time, keep your core active and working. Exhale to the chest, rounding the spine. Inhale, straight back, straight leg. Exhale to the side. Inhale back and exhale, knee to chest, knee to shoulder. Few more rounds, core really active and working. And again, slow and controlled. Instead of using the momentum, the movement, we want our muscles to work. Exhale to the shoulder. Exhale to the chest. Almost done. 2 more times. Exhale to the chest. Inhale, stretch. Exhale to the shoulder. Try to keep the same height with your leg. Exhale, shoulder. And then keep your leg like this, and on the exhale, come down. Elbows touching the side of your ribs, very near to the body, pointing up, not towards the side. Exhale down. And 2 more times, noticing that your chest is not only coming down, but automatically slightly forward. And one last time, exhale down. Inhale up, and now stretch your opposite, your right arm. Find your position, core active, navel to your spine. One straight line, reaching with the arm forward, then with the leg back. Breathe, and you can again add up small pause if you want. But you can just stay still and hold. Pelvis in the center, find your balance. Don't worry if you are shaking, falling out, that means your muscles are working, that's what you want. One last inhale, and with the exhale, bring your hand and knee down, and sit back into a child's pose. Take your well-deserved rest. And then bring your left hip down on the ground next to your heels. And you can even slightly go towards the right with your arms. Find this point where you start to feel the stretch in the left side of your glutes. This is exactly the area that we were working with. Just stay here and breathe. Bring your forehead to the ground. I'm just not doing it because of the microphone. Just enjoy the stretch and breathe. And then bring your hips back to the center, hands back to the center, and doing the same on the other side. Placing the right hip next to your right heel on the ground and slightly going towards the left with your arms. And again, release down with your forehead. Find this point where you start feeling this stretch in the right side of your glutes this time. Notice if there are any differences between the two sides. You maybe have to be in slightly different position to feel the same way of stretching sensations. That's very normal. And then come back to the center and roll up into sitting on your heels. And then again take a seat on one side of your hips and swing your legs forward, find back to your mat. Hands behind you, feet on the ground, and just dropping the knees from side to side a few times, just very gently and easy, just softening this area. And then find back in the center, feet on the ground, hands on the ground, and place your right ankle on your left knee, pushing your right knee forward, flexing your right toes, pulling them towards your knee to protect the knee. And then try to open your chest, lengthen your spine, straighten your back, and you can again find the position where you feel the stretch in your glutes by going a bit slightly forward with your hands towards your body, pushing your chest towards your shin. Or if that's too much, then you can release a bit by going backwards slightly with your fingers. So just really find this position, trying to keep your back straight and enjoy the stretch in your glutes. On the right side, breathe. And then release, change legs. Right foot on the ground, the left ankle on the right knee, pushing your left knee forward. Left toes are flexing towards your knees to protect the knee. And again, noticing where you have to be with your hands and your chest, how near or far from your left shin bone, to feel that stretch in the left side of your glutes this time. It may be different from the first side, that's totally normal to have tighter on one side than on the other, so just notice how it is for you. It's just information about your body. Just enjoy the stretch and breathe. It's always good to stretch out the glutes. They tend to get really tense, and that can, for example, influence also your sleep. So it can happen that you are unable to fall asleep because some of your muscles are too tense, and glutes can be one of those muscles, so maybe you can try stretching them out next time when you have difficulties to fall asleep. And then release, feet back on the ground, stretch your both legs. You're going to stretch out the back of the legs, the hamstrings. Inhale, lengthen your spine, arms up, and exhale, folding from the hips and not from the lower back. So even if you can go only this far, that's okay. Make sure to fold from the hips, from the pelvic bone. And just go down as much as you can. Have your hands either on your feet, your ankle, or under your knees, or just on the two sides of your body. And just release and stretch, bringing your forehead towards the legs, but again, not important how deep you can go. Important is that you feel a nice stretch on the back of your legs, on your back. This is a very good position to stretch out the whole back side of the body, so just enjoy and breathe. Notice on which points of your body you feel the stretch the most, maybe more in your legs, maybe your lower back, your mid back, upper back, calves, hamstrings. Just notice. And then slowly start rolling yourself back up to a seated position, crossing your legs comfortably in front of you. Inhale, lifting both arms up. Exhale, right hand comes down, left arm reaching towards the right. I am mirroring now. Stretching out the left side, shoulder stays back, shoulders on top of each other. Try not to fold forward with your top shoulder. If you want, you can try to look up to make sure your shoulders are open. If that's too much, just look forward, or you can even look down. Opposite sit bone on the ground, stretching out the side. And again, no need to go deep. Point is to reach and lengthen the side of your body. And on the next inhale, back up, both arms up. And on the exhale, left hand comes down, the right arm reaching, stretching out the sides. Shoulder stays again back. And again, you can try looking up, forward, or down, whatever feels the best for you. Opposite sit bone consciously staying on the ground to help increase the stretch in your sides. And the next inhale, come back up, arms up. And exhale, arms come down. And one last time, inhale, arms come up. Then you will look up, lengthen your spine. And exhale, connect your palms. And bring them down in front of you, in front of your chest. With the exhale, keeping the long feeling in your spine. And thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, you can check out my other videos on my YouTube or Facebook channel. Feel free to like and follow and share them if you like them. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you. And also, if you like me making these classes and videos, you can support me on Buy Me a Coffee or through my PayPal. You can find the links to those in the description of this video. And see you next time. Have a nice day and enjoy. Thank you.